everybody, Shadow34 here. I haven't made a traditional moto vlog in a little while. I posted a video yesterday, which actually was the first video I'd posted in a little bit of time. As a lot of you know, my computer setup is not the greatest or the fastest in the world. And hi, we'll wave. There you go. And you know, sometimes it just takes me a long time to work on these projects. I had filmed another episode of Important Motorcycle News, but it was just an absolute failure on my part, so it wasn't even worth posting. But sooner than later, hopefully next week, we'll get another episode up, because I really enjoy making those. Really, I don't make those for anybody but myself, which is what I do with most of this stuff. I just enjoy, you know, figuring stuff out and thinking about the production and just kind of all that goes into that type of film. So yeah, so that's that. So let's get to the point. The point and topic of the day is I met up with Svengalie in Daytona Beach, Florida for Biketober this last Saturday. And it was quite the story. But before we get to that, let's have a 10-second dance break. Alright, so yes, like I said, I met up with Sven. He is a great bloke. He's a good guy, super funny, super great to hang out with. If he lived over here, he would completely be the type of person that I would like to associate myself with on a regular basis. That being said, let's get into the Daytona story itself. So, if you happen to see his video, he mentioned how he was awoken by a cop at 2 o'clock in the morning on the sidewalk. And he put him in a cab and sent him home, and so be it. And that was the end of the excursion as far as I know it. My story is a little bit more interesting and involved. Okay. Start at the beginning. I'm getting ready to leave, and my buddy Chris, who's my neighbor, says, "Are you going down? I'll ride with you." So be it. So I'm running late from work and whatever. We leave a little bit late, and we get down there, and everything's all good. And we get down there at about 1:30 or so. And we had left at, I don't know, 12:15. Can it be? 10-second dance break. Alright. So we get down there, and we walk around and take some pictures, and my goal of this whole thing was to take good quality footage and make what is basically equivalent to a promo video that I can use to practice editing, to practice putting together professional quality videos, stuff like that. And finally, I meet up with Sven, and I haven't taken much footage yet of anything, and as soon as I meet up with him, the filming is just basically out the window. If you look at my footage, it's the first half is really good framing, nice quality stuff, you know, good content. The second half is drunken home videos. There's no other way to describe it than drunken home videos. So, that being said, we go around from pub to pub, and we have a drink here and a drink there and a couple of drinks there. And we drink entirely too much. That being said, my friend Chris that I mentioned earlier, he disappears at about midnight. And Chris is one to wander off in the first place. So when he leaves, you kind of don't really worry about it, and you'll just catch up, and he's a big boy, whatever. His jacket was padlocked to my bag and to my bike. So I had his stuff. So if he left, I was going to be stuck carrying it home. So this is midnight. He's disappeared. He's gone. It's 1 o'clock. And now, Sven is nowhere to be found. You know, he's gone. Come to find out, he's sleeping on the sidewalk. And I'm trying to sober up more and drink water, and you know, I had stopped drinking earlier, you know, so that I wouldn't be, you know, blitz riding home, because I think that that's absolutely repulsive and ridiculous. And it's one thing to have a beer or two and ride home, in my opinion. It's another thing to have 40 and ride home. And you know, it was important to me to get myself back to a sober state before I jumped on the bike, considering I had an hour-and-a-half ride back from Daytona. So we go through this whole process and make it happen. And I check my wallet, my money's there, and I put it in the middle of my wallet. Not on the inside, but like in the middle section of my wallet. Because I know I'm going to be pulling it out here in a second to get gas. Because as I was pulling into Daytona, the flashing light, you know, that says fuel has come on. I get back to the bike. Chris isn't there. I have to carry his jacket home somehow. I don't have room in my bag, so I put it on top of me. And on the way to go get gas, I run out of fuel. So I go up to a Burger King. I'm like, hey, you know, I need a gas station. And like, they're like, oh, we can't serve you going through the window. And I'm like, I don't want freaking food. I want to know where there's an open gas station. Because after losing my money, I had spent 2.5 hours sweeping out an entire bar for $20. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. So this is 4:30 in the morning, mind you, when I'm tapping on this Burger King's window. And they're like, oh, about 10 minutes down the road is your gas station that you need. So I'm like, shit. And I walk 10 minutes down the road, and there's an Indian gentleman working. And I'm like, I need a gas can for some gas to go put it in the bike to come back and get gas. And he's like, $5.99. I'm like, no, dude, I don't have enough money to buy a gas can that I can't take with me and get gas and get back to Jacksonville. I'm like, you don't have one I can borrow? And he goes, hold on, let me see. And he comes back with a gallon of sweet tea with about this much sweet tea in the bottom of it. I don't know if you can see that. Where is it? This much sweet tea in it. And there's a black guy, a white girl, and as we're standing there, another black guy comes up. So the four of us at 4:30 in the morning stand outside of this little Haji Mart and have a glass of sweet tea. And they were really cool. They were really nice. They were younger. Probably stoned as shit, but whatever. And I fill up this gallon of sweet tea with gasoline, and I walk back to the bike. In the meantime, I've lost one, not two, one of my gloves. It's 4:30 in the morning, it's 52 degrees outside, and I don't have any gloves. So I try to find the glove. I can't find the glove, so I throw my good glove away in frustration, because what is one glove going to do for me anyways? I make it home after stopping every single exit because it was so cold. You know, wind chill at 52 degrees at 90 miles an hour is like 35 degrees or something. I don't know. But it was freaking ridiculously cold. I was tired. I was hungry. I didn't have any money. My phone was dead. I was stuck in Daytona. I didn't know the hotel that Sven was staying at, let alone have a phone to get a hold of him. I couldn't even turn it on to get a phone number if I needed it. So 6:30 in the morning, I make it home, and that is my Daytona trip. And it was a fun ass trip, and it was a blast. And I wish I wouldn't have lost, you know, my money, and I wish I wouldn't have had to sweep out that bar, and I wish that Sven wouldn't have, unfortunately, had to have been woken up on the sidewalk by a police officer, and I wish Chris wouldn't have left me and just assumed that, oh, he can carry my shit home. But it worked out just fine, you know, in the end. And I got home, and it's one hell of a frickin' story. So here we are. I'm probably gonna have to break this up into 2 videos, but it was a great time. Sven, you're a really freaking good dude, man. I had so much fun hanging out with you and your friend and whatnot, and I hope that sooner than later we can do it again, mate. Cheers.